Welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today we are bringing you a massive unboxing of all the stuff that has came in for Lords of Vaala Dragonbond coming from Draco Studios. This is a game that we covered the prototype of back in the day. Already received the core box maybe about 6 months ago. I could be off on my timeline there. And have gotten to the table multiple times since that. What makes it unique, what makes it stand out is that one, it's set in this RPG world. So, in combination with incredible miniatures, really cool artwork, you also have lore and story and depth that you can explore as you play the game. You see that in the artwork, you see that in the flavor text, you see that in, well, just kind of how the game is built out. So those of you that know the Dragonbond world will have a lot to love here, and a lot of stuff that's cross-compatible, which you'll find in all of these boxes as well. But the primary mechanic is that you're going to be either controlling a general or a dragon, covering and devouring the map, trying to get as much power as you can, and potentially forcing or willingly teaming up with a rider. A dragon and a general can work together to overcome the forces and to win the game as a cooperative team against all the other victims at the table. It's a lovely game, has a very interesting programming mechanic where you're placing cards into a stack, events that cause crazy things to happen across the world. I don't know of something that plays quite like this. That being said, I have been ready for some time to change it up a little bit more. In the base game, you have variability when it comes to powers of the people that you're playing, the dragons or the generals, and some of the cards that come out.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to use other generals, bring out new dragons, and explore the world and the lore behind Dragonbond a little bit deeper. We have 6 boxes that we're opening. We're going to be talking about component upgrades, we're going to be revealing some insane miniatures, and we're going to be diving into some expansions that work with this game, are their own standalone game, and of course all backwards compatible with the RPG lovers in the audience.
That's so cool.
They've created this system that's like designed around enhancing however you explore the Dragonbond lore and world. I think it's a really unique way to approach publishing and kind of integrating a universal system. I'd love to see some companies. I mean, there's big companies out there that produce things that aren't cross-compatible. Like, you know, you're thinking like the D&D company or the Warhammer company, or, you know, even looking across at IPs like some of the Brandon Sanderson IPs, where they don't really link to other things that exist and happen in the same world. And I selfishly want them all to tie together.
Yeah.
It's harder to do than it is to say.
So like, does that mean that like you can take little bits of this and use some of it to play in other games?
I mean, the most obvious thing is going to be the miniatures.
Yeah,
but
obviously.
Some of these expansions are actually designed to either be their own standalone thing to incorporate into the RPG, or to be an expansion for this game. Like, they've got these tri-use components.
Very cool.
So there's going to be a lot to look at. All right, Mr. Matthews.
Yes.
You've played this game.
Yes.
We enjoyed this game.
Yeah.
We want to get back into it.
I want to play it again. I felt like I made a bad decision because I was not familiar with the game.
Yeah.
But after playing it, I was looking at it and I was like, I could see with some clarification and with a better understanding going in how this would be fun. So I really want to play it again.
Yeah.
You know, and like,
but to get
try
there,
it a couple different ways.
We've got to open up some new opportunities. What do you want to start with? I've got 2 expansions.
I already told you what I want to start with.
Oh, you know exactly what to dive into?
Yeah, man.
All right.
This guy is the first one I want to see, if that's okay.
Pull it over right here in the middle, break it open, and tell us what is going to be in this box.
This box is going to have 6 creature miniatures, 6 creature cards, 1 event card, 1 rules leaflet, and 1 RPG 5e stats booklets.
See, this already is introducing the
what it's really going to have
game.
Is this super awesome mini dragon that I really want to see. Like, as soon as I flipped it over, I was like, whoa!
So this is the Creatures of Valeria Dragonbond expansion.
Valerna.
Yeah. I don't know why I say
because they kind of are similar. Oh, cool.
This is like a big, from Star Wars. What's that guy's name?
Jabba the Hutt.
A big Jabba the Hutt style guy. So we've got the RPG rules, and then we've got the Creatures of Valerna.
Oh, Valerna, yeah.
Welcome again. This expansion to your favorite game includes a bevy of beasts, from the simply annoying to truly frightful. From the wide lands come frolicking Fey goblins, ferocious Vatar Fey orgs, and a fearsome Fey hydra, the supreme horror of the woods. From Taveria, the bloodthirsty Manticore and the dreadful Bloodhusk seek to drink your power and replenish theirs. And finally, from the darkness of the hollow depths comes the Wada, the mind-bending tyrants of the underworld, capable of making your opponents play for you. Dare you face the monsters. So the core element that this is going to be introducing into the game is these creatures that pop in that are third-party relics that are kind of destroying everything you've been trying to build up. So instead of just fighting against each other, you now have these creatures that are going to be showing up throughout the play process that you can go deal with, or you could just be kind of ruined by.
This guy's cute. These are very detailed.
I think that's the little guy that wants to drink your power.
Sweet.
He's going to latch himself onto you and then, like, absorb your...
He's got the...
Or maybe he's the mind control one.
He's got an art... No, he's got a crossbow. I don't know.
Love it.
Here's this guy.
All right, let's take a look at the creatures
see
themselves.
what you can do.
And then it has the RPG game rules in this box as well. So here's the various different cards. The Tar, the Manticore, the Fey Goblin, the Bloodhusk, and a Year of Monsters.
So that's going to go into the
Play
deck.
one at random and shuffle the deck back into the Denizen deck. So this is going to go into the story deck, and we might have one of these pop out during the course of play, depending on how the story deck progresses. This is really cool because it's going to add just a whole nother level of chaos and variability to the game board, and another opportunity to potentially get rewarded for...
Oh, so these guys all just go into the story deck.
Yeah, so there's your chance.
Oh, man, I want to play as this guy.
You're not going to play as this guy. They're going to ruin your day. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I want to ruin somebody else's day.
Creatures, though, is also going to give you this RPG book. So you have the various different people, and you have the basic stats for... all of them.
Oh, I see.
So if you're playing the RPG game, you suddenly have all of these creatures, not only the miniatures, but the availability to use them, the lore behind them.
Cool. That you can just, like, drop into your existing games that you have.
Which I think is... I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It enhances not only this game, but also other play experiences. I know a lot of people will do this in a way. They'll grab a miniature from a random game and incorporate it into their RPG session or indie game. But this takes it to a whole nother level. Like, imagine if some of the miniature games just included RPG stats for the creatures that they released anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's neat. But it depends on what system you're playing, I suppose. Let me grab one of mine over here so we can break into it as well. Scourge of Valerna. How do you say that name?
Scourge. Valerna?
Valerna.
I have no idea.
I want to put a weird pause at the beginning of it, which makes it hard for me to say. So this is going to be a base game expansion, and it's going to be introducing primarily dragons and riders that you can play. So instead of the core 4 that you start with... And
so this is new. Okay, cool.
You're always playing with 4.
Yeah.
This is going to give you a total of 8, 4 of each type, that you can choose from. So, we have the basic rules here.
Oh, cool.
You want to read a little bit of that flavor text while I pull things out?
Sure.
Our brand new colors: green, red, yellow.
Welcome once again to Valerna. It is time to discover new realms in this continent and more dragon species invading from the red moon of Draka. Get ready for a full draconic invasion in Valerna or a cutthroat clash of armies among 4 different realms. Extend your experience with 5 or 6 player games. The shape-shifting beast folk from the Nahuac coalition can spread with great stealth. In the north, the sturdy knights and allies from the Holy Alliance of Isval are tough to beat. The feathered dragons from Kodal brood excel at the arcane arts with versatile spells. Exor dragons stalk their prey and become more aggressive the more wounded they are. These factions have joined into the quest to claim most power in Valerna. Very cool.
Dude, look at this. Is there any situation where I'm not playing this yellow dragon? Holy cow.
He is very yellow. He's DeWalt yellow.
Yeah, he's beautiful. They're so detailed, too.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the mechanics.
Well, they're going to have the same core mechanic systems as the other ones.
I was going to say, kind of sounded similar.
Yeah. So these are going to be, you're going to have generals and dragons. And again, this is just going to add variability to what factions are going to be playing on the board.
Yeah.
And then their core personal abilities will be over here if you want to take a look at those. So remember how each dragon has their rider ability, their player ability, and then you can see here.
So these guys.
Yeah, so they're going to have their boards. Now each one is going to have the same kind of sequence, the same sequence of boards, and then their cards are going to be changing the asymmetric powers.
Right.
And then the card that you put here for each individual one is going to be changing their powers as well.
But they have similar skills, not completely asymmetrical or different. But.
Well, their cards are going to be the biggest change. Do you want me to pull those out to show you?
No, because this guy sort of read like he was similar to Magnifex. So I was like, oh, okay. The more you hit him, the stronger he gets.
Yeah, so
or the angrier he gets.
I'll display it here because I know we're going to be pulling out more of these so that the audience has a sense of what I'm talking about. Basically, their boards are going to be very similar unless you're playing with them as, not NPC, but as
the AI
system. But then this is where things really start changing the game. So we have his flavor text here, we have his Dragonbond ability, which will be unique for every single thing, and then the cards, depending on what they have, the sequence of symbols they have, will change the way that they approach the game.
Runes are
you have their special abilities, which are going to be all of their runes. Every one of those runes will be unique for each one of these creatures. And then, again, you have their unique Dragonbond ability, you have their sequence of playing cards, and then every single rune is going to be transformed.
Yeah.
So we have the yellow there.
Good artwork, too.
Really good artwork. And then, again, with the general, her sequence, the same thing here. So we can sit and read through all of those.
No.
We might do overviews in the future.
Yeah.
We've got enough boxes to go and break
Very
open.
cool.
But that's where the asymmetry is going to really start to stand out.
Yeah, that was kind of the initial thing with the game, too. Like, you just, you play your cards down and then flip it and play it backwards.
It's about
mechanic.
adjusting and accommodating quite a bit to the play style. Legends of Valerna. I want to say Val, and then I get stuck on the Erna.
Valerna. Something like that.
I'll blame the braces and the dyslexia.
I'll blame I don't know how to pronounce it.
I'll blame both of them.
I'll blame myself.
Right, moving forward, another little twitch in here.
That guy is cool.
The other cool thing about these expansions is they raise the player count to 6, I believe.
Oh, really?
Instead of 4. I think you can bring in another dragon and another general, making it so that you have 3 potential pairs on the table.
Seems like it'd get crowded.
Yeah, but it'd be fun.
Chaos, yeah.
Here's the rules again for this. This is going to be introducing, let's see here, a Fell Knight and a Kadha. Maybe it raises it to 5. Maybe I'm wrong about it raising it to 6. I think it raises it to 5, and you're playing as one of these out. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Raises it to 5, not 6, and you're playing as one of these unique creatures that doesn't
bond.
It might not bond, but it's ripping apart its opponents. Yeah, so there's I don't see a Dragonbond ability here.
Wow.
These are like beasts that are
cool,
covering the land. Holy cow. I wish I knew more of the lore here. I'm going to pull out these minis and take a look.
We could jump into it.
Each one of those has a wall of flavor text there on top.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
What's it say? What's the brief overview?
It says, Kadha are the darkest manifestations of the power of blood sorcery. They are the spirits created out of the magic of Tyverian blood sorcerers. When a Magir awakens their blood, they also awaken the Kadha that will stalk and haunt them for the rest of their lives.
Interesting.
It's a mirror spirit reflecting the power and memories of its host. Ooh.
So, this is the weird creature.
There you go. They exist only to chase and hunt its Magir. If the Magir wins the battle, the Kadha will retreat until it's powerful enough to try again.
What? I'm so intrigued by this, because it sounds like it's a whole nother little puzzle. So
even if it's utterly destroyed, it will be reborn at full power, ready to resume. That sounds scary.
Arcane Destruction.
Ooh.
Siphon abilities here.
And
then we have
rune cards are bloody ink blots. Let me see that. That's awesome.
And then we have these different generals, it looks like. So it looks like we have... Oh, okay. So we have an alternative purple general.
Okay.
An alternative brown general with brand new asymmetric abilities, brand new runes. We have... Oh, cool. So we have a set of 6 brand new people cards. The people that you can draft in.
Oh, okay.
Coming from the lore of these factions. Support. And then it looks like we have 1 new leader or general, but there's no Dragonbond ability from what I can see. So you're playing as just one of these 2 things, and spawning and summoning and making chaos reap across the board. I love this. Even though I don't know it perfectly, I'm so excited.
Get new tokens with these guys too.
I like new stuff.
I like that.
All right, let's grab one of yours. Deluxe or armies?
Let's just start with the top. Here are the deluxe tokens. Go ahead.
So these are going to be upgrading all of our base game tokens and making them as pretty and shiny and
nice,
glorious as possible.
So that's going to replace like all of these little blood tokens.
I think so.
The rampart tokens.
It's my assumption. Let's see what they've given us. By the way, the packaging so far has been really stand out.
Oh, that's right. I just saw that. That also replaces the
our armies.
Your support, your armies.
Oh,
not
cool.
Your support guys, your armies. Yeah. So instead of putting these little tokens down, you're putting down
actual miniatures.
Yeah, because you've got swords, cavalry, and archers. So I'm guessing.
Oh, cool. And they have this if we need to adjust a loose fit.
Oh, nice.
I really appreciate that. Because every now and then the plastic isn't perfect.
Ton of new bases.
So these bases are going to be for your factions, because these factions are generic at the moment. Mm-hmm. But if you're red and you're putting out a... I don't know whichever size there is. If you're red and you're putting out a red, that denotes it as your army on the table, which means they didn't have to print, a dozen of the different color options.
Yeah.
And then we have plastic upgrade pieces.
Nice.
Are these plastic or wooden? Wooden upgrade pieces for our villages, for our towns, for the different control markers and power markers we have. First player marker gets a nice upgrade.
Cool.
I like wooden bits. I like wooden pieces. Very nice. Well, this seems like a perfect sequence into the other crazy miniature expansion they have. So this board is now going to turn into a actual battlefield. Instead of little icons that reflect your army, you're going to be marching across with a real army. And one of the coolest things about this game, one of the asymmetric parts for the generals, is the ability to hire from different regions lore and thematically accurate people from all these
I didn't realize all those guys fit
because you played a dragon. So, for instance, every one of these has a homeland. And you have to have control in their homeland, if they're in the marketplace, to hire them. And then on top of that, their abilities relate to what type of creature and what type of region they come from in terms of the lore of the RPG. And you can use these. If you imagine playing the RPG game, this suddenly becomes a thing I can put down on the table and be like, this is who you're encountering.
Oh, cool.
Because you look at the story, you can see the artwork. It's just adding more to the experience of play, which for a DM is always valuable.
I was just reading the bottom thing on that card. It said after a slaughter, nothing beats a good cookout.
That's the most terrifying, adorable creature.
That's what I was like. Oh, he looks cute, and then I read that, and I'm like, oh god,
he's so nice. And then we've got infiltrator. As nothing gets past their senses, the bat can learn to fly unseen. See, he's not that bad. He's just learning how to fly. He's learning to operate in the world. That little guy with the big bubbly eyes.
It's not a sword. That's his stick.
Likes to feast on the blood and flesh of his enemies. Yeah, good.
Oh, there's our little slaughter
cute.
cook. You go ahead.
Lovely. You don't like knives?
I just
not legally allowed to use them.
Yeah, it's better than passing it back and
can't
forth.
Touch them. I saw you struggle to close it.
Well, I don't want to. I actually don't want to accidentally screw up your boxes either.
Stab through the boxes,
or cut the side and scratch it up.
So, armies of nature and light.
Oh,
this is going to be bringing to life the game board in an awesome way.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So you have all these giant beasts.
Guys underneath that, too?
All these adorable things. It might not. I might be wrong in my statement. It might only be turning certain elements into it. But there's the adorable little guy. Here's the Batkin. Here's some giant moose. Okay, so it looks like it's not doing every single thing like I had initially assumed.
It's the armies of nature and light for the expansions.
Yeah. So let me read the back of this so that I can re-clarify. Includes 36 plastic miniatures, no extra rules content. This is a Lords of Valyria base game, a Scourge of Valyria expansion are both needed to play with these miniatures. So if you're playing with the Scourge of Valyria, which is one of this guys here, so these are the two generals that we have.
These are the guys that come as their supports.
These are the units that are going to be coming specifically as their supports.
Nice.
You know what it makes me interested and excited, though? Is, depending on the success of this, both for this and the RPG, we might get more.
I was going to say it'd be cool if you got the same thing for all these, or for these other generals.
It might continue expanding.
Yeah.
So we're going to have the armies specifically for those two factions being able to be depicted on the board, which that means that the other core factions that we have, because they work with the troops, they're going to have the first expansion that we opened, the deluxe upgrades.
Yeah.
They're going to be using the armies, the swords, the horses for those with those colored bases. And these generals are going to be using these specific...
so instead of a bunch of cardboard tokens all over the place, you're going to have a bunch of cool little minis.
Instead of cardboard tokens,
run around.
Or attaching different colored bases to the same set, if you're using these generals, you're going to have the troops to do so.
I like that this guy is made with a flexible material instead of a brittle. I was like,
the minis are
going to break. But
the minis are really well done.
Yeah.
The plastic's good. It feels heavy and chunky, which is something I always look for, like not hollowed out minis.
Yeah.
And the detail in
the details
all
crazy.
Of these are excellent. All right. The last thing we have to open up here. Armies of Blood and Dreams.
So the last one was Armies of Nature and Light, right?
Yep.
So is this going to be the expansion to the other guys, or
this might be an Armies expansion, but this is also a standalone.
Oh, it's a standalone
game as well.
Look at that.
Here's where Draco Games starts getting ridiculous. This,
look at that.
When opened up, gives you the opportunity to start playing their tactical miniatures war game set in the RPG world that also incorporates into their Dragonbond
Lords of Vaala
board game
Dragonbond
experience.
Wow.
So, an introduction to
that's clever.
The world. So here we have all of the crazy art, flavor text, story. This is one of the reasons why I love games that have RPG tie-ins, because for someone like me that wants to dive into the story and wants to see a depth and an understanding of everything that's being produced, this does that. It indicates why, when you play the game, things feel right.
Why they're fighting
feel like
each
they
other.
fit
Why,
into the world.
Yeah.
Now we have, developed by, this is their Battles of Valyria 1.2 miniatures skirmish game. So this game box allows you to play a tactical combat game. And just dip your feet into it, in case you're curious. Just like the other one allowed you to, start incorporating some of the RPG elements of the game, which is cool. We're going to have to check that out. And then, like you were just indicating, it looks like we have our orange.
Oh, look at that.
And our purple.
Yeah.
For this and for this. So 2 different orange generals, 2 different purple generals, and all the armies we need if you're playing blue, red, purple, or orange combat in the game system, so that you don't have to use those deluxified miniatures, but you certainly can if you would like. This is great. What a cool...
These guys are very detailed and very... I love how much the resolution of minis has just increased over time, and they're all beautiful. It's the Scorpion King.
It's
Dwayne Johnson.
It's absolutely awesome. It's what it is.
That is cool. Oh, these ones are See, I always hate when you have these little but these are actually flexible resin, so it's not
Like
going to
this.
snap and be all brittle. Yeah.
You're fine.
Nice.
Oh, man.
That's pretty thoughtful. Oh, he's riding it. He's not part of it. Okay.
You know, the only thing I feel like we're missing now is what I thought that box was at first. I actually like this better. I like the fact that it doesn't upgrade one single person you're getting, but it upgrades the actual entire
Although
game
that
terrain.
still would be cool.
I still like an idea of turning all of these into miniatures as well. And some of these here are still reflected. Like that is this purple guy. So if you're playing and you draft some of these abilities,
you just pull those guys out.
Yeah.
These guys are cool.
You know what I might do? What might be cool is if you draft the creature like this to upgrade your unit.
Oh, this has got to be a general.
You incorporate that in. I don't know. There's so many different things. Oh yeah, this guy is unique.
Yeah.
Interesting. He's probably a general for the tactical war game.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I bet he's actually reflected in here. I wouldn't be
This
surprised
guy's
if
unique
he's
too.
reflected in
So
there
these
too.
two guys are probably unique.
They got a lot of stuff going on here.
This is very cool, man. Got huge expansions.
For 3 different game products.
Yeah, but they all can be played
They
together as
all
one.
mix together.
That's
I've got
cool.
the RPG books. Now I've got all the miniatures I need. I've got the lore, the understanding, the expansions. I've got the game that I already know how to play. And now I have the rule book for the skirmish game, which is more accessible than ever before.
That's super cool too. It makes it so that when you buy all these expansions, it's not like they're all just for one game and you just take up all your space. You've now got 3 different games that you could play with all of this. I like that. That's a very cool idea.
This is neat.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. I wanted to rip all these open because I wanted to see what they were, and also we're going to be getting this game back to the table a few more times off camera before we bring some on-camera gameplay. And I'm thrilled about all the little fancy toys they've given me to play with.
Yeah. Very cool.
We'll see you next time.